So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense. They'll run it now out of the gun. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the first, second, and third. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. The bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
He was trying to get it to Jermaine Kearse, and it's third down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. They get 7 there, but it brings up fourth.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first.
Let's go!
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Jaguars are going to take possession here on the turnover on downs. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on fourth. And we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
Let's see what the offense comes with here. 2nd and 8. Now a handoff here to his running back. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 21. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Jet touchdown. This game's still fairly well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell and just run the football?
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football because you're going to run into a stacked defensive front, which is why they were throwing the football before, trying to make sure they just get their backs, really beat up in that situation. Now, good luck to them.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set to go again. They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeout in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give them a new set of downs. So it'll be first down here after the run. They'll toss it to Fournette. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Now here's a timeout defensively. Defensive timeout called by the Jets. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. The Jaguars on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll run it now out of the gun. And some space here. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. Now the Jets are going to burn another timeout. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this fourth quarter. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. And now here comes the third of their timeouts defensively. So they'll be left with only the 2-minute warning to stop it from here on out. The Jaguars on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 10. Now a handoff looking right. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. That good for 22 and a first down. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and mini camps. For these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. Here's a give to Fournette. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down? The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
On is Josh Lambo for the field goal try. This to make it a 3-score game late. And Lambo will put this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. And you figure with that, this game's pretty well out of reach.
It would take a heck of a comeback at this point. Being 3 scores down, I think that's too much to ask with time winding down here in the fourth.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. Well, he thought about coming out, but instead he does go down to a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Now the Jet offense about to take over as they head out onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. 23 yards on the play. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Let's go! Blue 90! Blue 90!
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Calais Campbell in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
All right, now, look at 56. Look at 56. Blue, line it.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field that's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. The grab made by Kearse over the middle. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd. They'll look to throw. And his throw is incomplete. Robbie Anderson, the man he was looking for. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. David Njoku was the intended receiver. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. They'll set up a throw. And he comes back with one complete. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first. He'll look to throw. And this one incomplete. So the clock stopped now with 20 seconds remaining.
There are a good number of coaches at any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, helped force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Looking to throw. He's got Kearse. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. And this will likely be the last play and wrap things up. One final shot. They'll look to throw. And this is going to be caught. So it affects the final score, not the outcome, but it is a late touchdown here on the game's final play. Doesn't affect the outcome, but, hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Or, of course, in the fantasy football world, these points mean a lot.
A lot there. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game,